Hi everyone, this is video number 2 about my trials and tribulations with a GSW water heater. Okay, so this is what I guess stage 2 has ended up being, right? Just sort of fill you in, the tank got slower and slower with the water, and there's a big pressure drop across it. And it can be a common problem, and often on the inlet side of the tank, there's what they call a dip tube, and I'm just going to show you one here. It's this here, and this is on the inlet side, and it makes the cold water that comes in at the top mix at the bottom of the tank, so it actually comes out inside at the bottom of the tank. Well, one problem is you can get problems with these tubes. Either they can break, they can fill up with sediment, and next thing you know, you've got a blocked water tank. Well, a lot of manufacturers make it possible to easily change these. Well, GSW makes it absolutely impossible, although I think we've managed it. But this is what we've had to do. Firstly, they put a fitting in here which is buried underneath the foam and the top of the unit, so you can't easily change it. And they make it out of such light material that if you actually tried to untorque it, it would just crush, and you'd be left with a finished tank there with where you can't repair it. So and they torque it in at such a way that, and I think they use a fixing agent, so it's not designed to be changed. So they're deliberately making it impossible to change what's called the dip tube on the inlet side of the water tank. This is because, if you happen to be in like a hard water area and you get buildup, and suddenly your tank starts to misbehave, they go, "Oh, well, I'm sorry, your tank needs replacing, please give us $2,000. Now, the other solution, of course, is that you get a dip tube and you replace the dip tube for $15. And if they made it and designed the tank properly, that you would be able to switch that out in 20 minutes, and instead of having a $2,000 bill, plus maybe more actually because of cost of installation or whatever, you'll have a $15 bill. So just to show you a bit more of the tank on the top here, this is the sort of water inlet here, and you can see there's a fitting there. Now, the fitting that was screwed in there is made of such a light material. I've gone through 2 prior attempts of trying to get it off. Both failed miserably. And the main problem is if you use a pipe wrench, it actually crushes the fitting. So in the end, what I had to do or my buddy and Armin and I, we ended up having to weld on a whopping great nut, because the fitting they put in there doesn't even have a nut, on it. So here is the what we did, and as you can see, this part is the original fitting. We actually had to weld on it to try and strengthen it up, because we knew that if we tried to torque it off, it was likely to snap. So we had to reinforce it, and then we had to weld this nut onto it, so that the whole thing was going to be actually a do or die attempt. It was either going to work, or we were going to have to end up changing the tank. Right, so we ended up trying this out. We ended up using a 300 foot-pound torque impact driver on this, and we just about got it to move and got it out, and at great risk, right? Because you can see what we've had to do here in terms of welding onto it to make it work. GSW really, I consider this sort of like manufacturer's ethics. They've deliberately designed in something so that it's impossible for you to change it, so that you have to buy another tank, right? And of course now, I'm going to sort of replace the tube, and fix it up. But look at all the work I have to do here now to put this right. I have to try and sort out the mess here. And to do all this, of course, you actually have to take off what's called the blower unit, which blows the exhaust out. Right? So there you have that, which is normally on top of here. So I have to make good the whole top of this, right? Because GSW feels that they don't have to, do a decent job in sort of repairing the tank here. So anyway, that's the scoop there. And hopefully I'll be able to show you another little video later when it's all put back together. But you can imagine, for a $15 repair, all the work I've had to go to. I mean, we had to strap the tank too because the tank was trying to move when we were trying to untorque the fitting. I had a 4-foot wrench on here.